Greetings, everyone. It's certainly been a while, hey? It's me, the Black Dragon Emperor, and I've been away for about 3 weeks now from YouTube. And I just wanna give you the proper reason why I've been away before I give you a proper greeting. If you hear me wheezing, I'm sorry. My asthma's triggered, and I don't want to take my Ventolin in recording. But I will tell you the reason, truthfully, why I'm not recording daily, or just like in the schedule. And the reason for that is because I'm a very lazy person. I'll say that now. I only do what I need to do, and I don't feel as recording or my YouTube career is important. So what I do is I just discard it completely, and I'm always tired as well, and I have like no motivation to do things. I have no will to do something that isn't truthfully important, which is why I'm apologizing or just putting this out there now. And with all the shit that's going on, I might say I'm not scared, but I somewhat am. Or not really. But I'm alright. Everyone I know is alright. Everything is fine. The shit that's going on, it's really nothing to worry about as long as you take care of yourself. That is literally all. Anyway, now that is over with, let's get to the lighter stuff, shall we? So this one's something that I thought would be a really good idea to do. Of what if Deku had the Nanosuit from the Crisis series. Now this will be a lot different than the past YouTubers that have done this. And this one especially is a very touchy subject, mainly because the backstory of the Nanosuit isn't all too clear if you do not pay attention to the backstory of the Crisis games, of Crisis 1 through 3. If you don't pay attention, the backstory of just everything seems jumbled, or it doesn't seem to make sense. And I will try and touch on the more base of what the suit is capable of doing, more than what others may see the suit doing. And Izuku in this will be quirkless, but thing is, he'll be a smart person. Because in this, he's seen quirkless heroes around, but he's only seen very few. And the reason for that is quirkless heroes are no oddity in this world. In this version of My Hero Academia, and sorry about that, Paul was one of my friends on Discord, messaged me, and I just wanted to check it out. But, yeah, so, with all the oddities around in this world, the quirkless heroes are a thing, though they are a rarity. They don't show up as much, they aren't in as many missions as normal people would be. They would usually be around more simple things, more so like things like riots or villains raiding a bank or something along those lines. Also, in this what if, we will be touching on the Seth, and the Seth will be a thing. If you do not know what the Seth is one of the main antagonists in the Crisis series, or to be just informal, they are like the big ass problem that has been put in front of the Prophet, or I forgot the character's name, but in the second Crisis, if I'm sorry, I really should have put a spoiler warning. Spoiler warning, by the way. If you do not want to do this, skip about a minute along with this. But what happens is the Prophet, after all of the events that have happened, has had enough. And what he decides to do is, when he saves an injured soldier from the Korean War in the year 2020, what happens is he ends up giving the suit to this injured soldier, but by doing so, he kills himself, which is a very touchy subject, and it is for me too. But that is what happened, And after he gave it to that person, he became the new prophet and wielded the N2, or which is known formally as the Nanosuit second version. The second and currently most powerful variant of the Nanosuit to date. But the thing is, the Nanosuit grafts to the person's skin, like an extra layer. However, like a mechanical, biological layer, is sort of like what you can call it. And what it allows, it gives it max. Okay, so you'll just find out what it's capable of in this, because I don't want to make this extremely long. I would like to keep my usual video length, but this one will be sort of weird, because I try my hardest to sort of like push out what I remember from the Crisis series. I've replayed it a little bit just to get an idea of what I'm doing again. I've read a bit more of the lore. I've tried my best to catch up before doing this, but if I do get anything wrong and you guys know the answer to a specific mistake that I have made, please do say in the comment section, and in episode 2 of this, or part 2 as I would like to say, then I will try my best to fix that to the best of my capabilities if I remember. Because how my brain works is it only remembers things that are important. Now, so Izuku Midoriya, a quirkless child in a civilization that is 90% quirked. And these quirks are oddities. They're they're a weird anomaly that appeared in the human body. And this anomaly gave humankind powers, though 10% of the world does not have these genes. And Izuku, sadly, is one of them. Though the upside to that is, Izuku was always interested in became interested in science at a young age, thinking that he could possibly make really good gear for heroes. Be able to make them stronger with their gear. Be able to make them more efficient in what they are doing. So, and that's when he started to study mechanics, science, strategy. He even started learning chess, or things like checkers, from professional players, just to pick up his aspect of professional strategization. And one day, while Izuku was walking home, a ship looms above the Earth, and this ship happens to be a part of an alien race called the Seth. This alien species works to wipe out biological beings and take their planets, murder every single person. They are the bane of human existence, and at this year they were said to be forgotten. Because far in the past they showed up, but humanity was not a threat to them, nor were they interested in humanity. So they ignored it and moved on to other species. And now they have come back to Earth and found a single boy that is smarter than the rest. His intellect outmatches what they have seen other humans accomplish. He strategizes quicker, he makes decisions easier, but also he has an open mind. And this open mind could prove dangerous to them, as if he picked something up, he would accept it, and if he accepted it and brought it out into the world, it wouldn't grow roots for them, so to say. It would cause a large amount of problems, and these problems, they aren't very nice, because if people found out that the Seth existed, they would work to get rid of them before more would arrive. And so, what did they do with this boy? They abducted this boy, named Izuku Midoriya, and hid him in a cell in their scouting ship. And before they could attempt to telepathically communicate with this boy, he used his notebook to scan around the area. pick up details that are just small. And eventually, Izuku found a panel in the wall that was a teeny bit more revealed than the others. And when he pried open this panel with the fried textbook remnants of a absolute idiot named Katsuki Bakugo, he found wiring, and he began tearing it out over and over again, eventually using a power core. And when he pulled it out, the entire force field dropped. And so he quickly ran, looking out a window and finding that he was at a dark place. But he saw something off in the distance. And he thought, well, it's better off than here. And picked up a suit that he saw on the right-hand side of the window. And he went into a room that was next to it. And as he put the helmet on, he noticed that it was really weirdly shaped. Though he didn't care. He wanted to get out of there immediately. And when he did, he got shot out via an extremely strong vacuum of space. Something dangerous, something powerful, something lifeless. And as he left, the Seth noticed him and began opening fire. And eventually one hit his helmet, causing Izuku to panic and his mask to crack. And when it cracked, the pressure began decreasing at a rapid rate, his body beginning to feel cold and lifeless. But during the time that he was there, he tried his hardest to cover the crack, though because he was panicking, his oxygen supplies began to drop. They began to deplete awfully quickly, which proved not the problem. But when he turned around, he slammed into something, eventually falling unconscious. And as his eyes closed, he saw something warp out from the distance. A long metal snake. And that metal snake, well, let's just say that it was something called the Alpha Ceph, the leader of the aliens, the most powerful, the most dangerous, and of course, the most annoying motherfucker to deal with. And what he slammed into was a shuttle, a prototype shuttle that was coming out and was about to check their warp drive. Because humanity thought, if we can make something to go into space and warp around, maybe we can do something about that. Maybe we can travel to other galaxies in a flash and see what might be there. But when their proximity alarm went off due to Izuku hitting it, they checked the cameras, and once they did, they saw it was something humanoid. So, seeing that the suit was a little bit damaged, they immediately went to the airlock, and an astronaut got him inside. And they took it to the med bay, which had them later open up the mask of the suit, seeing a young boy, and seeing that his right side of his face was shredded due to fractures of glass. The doctors quickly acted, taking the suit off as fast as they could, and the engineers going to take it apart and have a look at it. But the doctors, they were more focused on keeping Izuku alive, as he's frozen over a little bit, and they had just caught him right in the nick of time before the time limit was reached, and his eardrums had exploded due to pressure loss. They began doing as best as they could to remove the shards of glass and fix the tissue on his face. And they also noticed, while they were taking it off, that he was gripping something. And when they had a look, it was a power core, so they took that with the suit as well. And they thought, if the suit that he was wearing was able to keep him alive in such good condition, even in space, then maybe they could make something to keep him alive. And so they made some things that could possibly be put together to make the suit more human. And when they did, they also added an AI inside of the suit. And they took it to Izuku, and the doctors asked what it was. And the men replied that they made a suit to possibly keep Izuku alive, to help him, heal him. And they immediately put him inside of the suit, which to their dismay, the suit began to fuse to his body, sensing that its wearer was damaged. And the suit didn't want to have the damaged wielder, and immediately went as fast as it could to heal him. But to do that, it had to graft to his body first, like an extra coat of skin. And that wasn't very good for him. As it was when it was grafting, they couldn't remove him fast enough. And as they tugged the last time, the suit finished wrapping around his body. And Izuku began to wake up. Initializing self-repair systems. Self-repair on way. Initializing vital check. Green all across the board. Repairing damaged face tissue. Repair complete. Rebooting suit. And as it rebooted, Izuku found himself in a suit of armor that was unlike any other. It was inhuman. Alien. Something weird as all hell. And he freaked out a little bit, backing up and getting off the table he was placed on. But the doctors quickly stopped him, saying, Whoa, calm down, kid. You just went through some stuff. You really shouldn't be moving this fast. You'll hurt yourself." And Izuku was still shaking. They could see he was traumatized. So one of the doctors rushed one of the men in the room to go make him a hot chocolate or something to heat him up, something to calm him down. And the guy immediately did, bolting into the room, shutting the door behind him. And they explained to Izuku that they found him floating around in space in a weird alien suit, and they had modified the suit using the technology that was on him to make something to keep him alive. But what happened is the suit seemed to graft to his body as it was now on his own. It was now him. He was the suit and the suit was him. It was one with him. And there was no way it was coming off without them peeling it off. And if they peeled it off without anesthetics, which they didn't have on them, or something along the lines, it would cause some real bad damage. That, or would kill him. Absolutely just erase him, pretty much. And Izuku was taken aback by it, as the guide came back in with a hot chocolate, saying, "Here, kiddo, you sure you'll be alright? You're shaking." And Izuku, noticing that the men were human, nodded, "Yeah, I'm alright. Just a little bit in shock. Thank you." And the face mask of the suit peeled back, and like nanotechnology, seemed to disappear and fade into the armor. And he took a sip from it. "This is really good." And the guy's like, "Yeah, my ma taught me how to make them at home before I came up here. But enough about me. Are you feeling okay?" And Izuku said, "Yes, I'm feeling fine, thank you, but what is this thing? I know it's something to keep me alive, but what in the world?" And he's like, "I don't know, but we've made something similar, but it wasn't as nearly as powerful as yours. We made nanosuits, but as we said, nothing as powerful as yours. We've had N1s and 1.5 AMBs and military stuff, but nothing close to what you're wearing right now. It's advanced, the armor is impenetrable, it's smooth, but it's also rough and has a great texture. it just seems all around like it's literally made completely out of alien, but it was a mix of human tech and alien tech. And Azuki then had a flashback to the aliens that he saw. Those aliens, are they gone? And they're like, aliens? Kiddo, what happened to you? And the doctor then motioned all the others to leave. It's like, boy, what did you see out there? And I said, these things, I was walking home and I got knocked out by something. I don't know what it was, but when I woke up I was being dragged by what seemed to be a sword, like an arm, like a sword arm. I don't know what it was, but they threw me in a cage and I blacked out again. And when I woke up, it was just, I was locked in. And they looked at him a little confused or shocked, as no country would do that, it's immoral. So they had to take what he was saying for real, and one of the doctors were making a report at the same time. And he said, were you hurt in any way? And he said, I was shot at a little bit, and it may have burned my shoulder, but I feel great now. I feel nothing. And the doctor said, yeah, probably because of that suit. Seemed as though it had healing properties or something, but I'm glad it did. You were pretty injured. When you slammed into our ship, I think you had a fractured arm and a fractured shoulder, I think. At the most, you may have been dislocated at the joint, but nothing more than a fracture or two. And it's like, really? Because I feel nothing. I'm fine as I am. And the doctors just stared at him. A little bit weirded out, but they had to take it all for what it was, mainly because of the matter of the fact that all of this has been true at this point in time. Nothing has been proven false. Nothing has been proven really weird. Well, it's all been proven weird, but they can't just discard it. After all, this child was badly hurt. He wasn't just thrown around. He was shot out of an airlock. From the velocity he hit the ship, that's pretty much what happened. They could tell, but they couldn't see any ships around the place. They couldn't see anything. There was no whatever aliens he was talking about, and there was nothing along the lines of Seth. It just confused them. How is this happening, and is this kid okay? They thought, but along with the suit, well, they can't really say anything, can't they? It's not really a good thing to say, considering that this child has just gone through some serious shit. And afterwards, they said to Bazuku, look, kid, we'll send you home, but with that suit on, I don't know what'll happen. So we'll give your mother a call, alright? What's her name? And he said, Inko Midoriya. And one of them said, Inko? Huh, I used to work with a man that had the Midoriya last name. It's nice to finally meet the son of the family. Well, anyway, yeah, I'll give your Mara a call. I'll be right back. And as the doctors left, Izuku got up, and he felt more powerful, and he felt tall. He felt more mature than usual. He didn't feel as though something was up, but he knew something was up. This suit was enhancing him in every way, except for his brain. Though he could already tell, with the power of this suit, not everything will be as it seems, as things will slowly ramp up. And ramp up they did, because when Izuku returned home, arriving at the airport, his mother was worried sick, being all over him, but Izuku was a bit taller than he was before, standing at a height of 5'11". Niku commented on that, but Izuku dismissed it, saying that this suit was given to him by the people in the spaceship to keep him alive, as he had sustained really bad injuries. But the suit had a bit of a kink to it, in that it had to graft to the person to keep him alive. And so this suit, he has it on for him for the rest of his life, which isn't too great for him, but it does have some pretty good enhancements, as it enhanced his strength, speed, and overall durability. Though he didn't know everything else about the suit. He didn't know its abilities, or about something called the nanovision, or the armor, or the cloak. But Inko, looking at him in shock, said, "Maybe you can finally live up to your dream." And Izuku was a little shocked, as why would his mother promote him being a hero? But, well, he did want to. For years on end he did. And now he finally has the chance to. And so he began walking home with his mother, thinking about all the things that would happen. But, well, when he got home, there was quite a lot on the news about things that happened. 1. A villain attacked a kid, Katsuki Bakugo. Izuku knew him awfully too well. But he was happy to see that Katsuki was roughed up a little bit. But he was also a little upset that All Might only showed up halfway through. Why could that be? Why was it? And Izuku wanted to find out so badly that he got up and told his mother that he couldn't eat because of the suit, but he'll figure out a way to eat later on. And he said, "Alright, are you going out for a walk?" And he said, "Yeah, just got to think about some things for a while." And Izuku then left the house and jumped up onto the roof, looking around a little bit. And when he wanted to get a closer look at things, something popped up in his view, like a visor, and it zoomed in and out, and he saw All Might flying. But when he saw him land, it seemed as though he was smoking. So Izuku immediately leaped off the roof and began heading over. And this time, he wasn't on that big roof that he was before, because he didn't have to land so abruptly. But when Izuku got there, he saw a scrumped up old man, and he said, "Are you okay? Sir, there was a lot of smoke here. Are you alright?" And the man said, "Oh, yes, thank you, and are you a hero?" He said, No. I was given this suit to keep me alive. It's like life support, and it's healed all my injuries, but I can't take it off." And the man's like, "Oh, I see. Well, anyway." And Izuku went, and when Izuku went to go check why he seemed so worried, everything seemed to go blue and red. Thermal vision. And when he looked at him, there was a bit of a fluctuation about where his respiratory organs were, about his left lung. And he asked about it, as he seemed to be holding that area. And the man happened to be Toshin Ariyagi, aka All Might. And he said to him, "Jeez, kid, you're very perceptive." And he said, "This suit has a few kinks that I'm still figuring out. I pretty much just got it." And I said, "Well, anyway, I see. Well, now that you've figured it out, I guess I can't hide it anymore." And Toshinori then went to go explain that he was All Might, but because of the injury he took to his left lung, he wasn't able to stay in his hero mode for very long. And that hurt him. And as he was getting older and using his power more, it's beginning to decline. His time as a hero is beginning to end. And that shocked Izuku, surprised him, but he said, "Hey, don't worry. Don't give up yet. As long as you have a reason to live and a reason to fight, There's no reason to give up. Not yet, and not ever. And All Might smiled. You know, if only other heroes were like you. But hey, you know about the bad in the world, right? It's gonna be awfully hard. And he said, I know. I really, really do know. But you just have to let go. You have to be you have to be strong. Even if you can't use a hero form. And yes, I really am disappointed that you're almighty, that this happened to you. I really am. But still, there's no reason to complain or get upset. Because what has happened now will be history later. And this history won't really be needed, as it's just between us. I promise. After all heroes need a secret identity, right? A hero name? And All Might chuckled. I see. Alright. Thank you, young man. What is your name? He said, Izuku Midoriya. He said, young Midoriya. Alright. If you want to help, would you come to the beach? And also, it seems as though you want to be a hero. Are you trying to join UA? He said, oh, if I could, yeah, that would be really good. And All Might said, alright, another reason to come to the beach. He said, what beach? And All Might gave him the address. And Izuku said to him, isn't it filled with rubbish? And he said, yes, but it'll sort of be like trading for you. Who knows? That suit may give you a boost, but yet again, who knows what you're capable of? And he said, yeah, after all, you still have a few kinks to pick up. And Izuku then helped him off the roof. And All Might thanked him. And he went home. And the next day, he woke up extremely early, about 6 in the morning, and got up and jogged over to the beach, leaving a note on the kitchen table, and saying that he made himself breakfast, just made himself some nice butter toast. And that's all. He'll get himself a nice drink on the way. And when his mother woke up to see it, she sighed. Oh, that is Izuku. And Izuku happened to get to the beach right before All Might did, which impressed him. An early bird, I see. Izuku replied with, yeah, of course. An early start to the day is really good for you. Even if you are pretty tired. And All Might agreed, nodding. I guess so. Now! And he then buffed up to his All Might form. Let us begin, young Midoriya! And Izuku did a thumbs up, getting ready. And what followed after was a really big training routine. And for months on end he trained and trained. And when the day came, All Might said to him, no, I will be a teacher at UA, so perhaps I'll see you there. From this evening I'll be teaching a class called 1A. And Izuku said, well, I'll be sure to make it in, hey. And All Might gave him a thumbs up. Go on, Midoriya! Plus Ultra! And Izuku then jogged off to UA. And when he arrived, when he arrived, it was a little later than he wanted to, but hey, he went home and picked up some slacks and a jacket with a hoodie and put it over his head. And this was a jumper, so at least it covered his whole body. And instead of Izuku falling in this, it'll be Uraraka, since, this suit is honestly really damn powerful, considering he can run about a little faster than Usain Bolt at max speed. He is quite literally a super soldier in every way, shape, and form. And he managed to catch Uraraka, and asked if she was alright. Yeah, thank you. What's your name? He said, Izuku. Izuku Midoriya. Nice to meet you. And all the Rocker saw was the red visor. He asked if it was his clerk. Oh, maybe? You'll have to find that out later. And Izuku headed inside, sitting down near the middle row, and managed to steal a seat a little further away from Katsuki, considering that he would have gave him a bit of an ass whooping, or a bit of a mouthful at the most. And as President Mike explained and made a mistake, and either corrected him, Izuku just sighed. As many people make mistakes, but as long as people are getting together, and as long as they're happy, it doesn't bother Izuku. Not in the slightest. And so when they arrived in their hero suits, Izuku had taken off his jumper and getting a feel for his body, making sure that everything was working out properly, just so he didn't mess anything up. And everyone looked at him with a bit of a shock, wondering, "Whoa, what sort of quirk is that? Now that's cool." And as President Mike said go, Izuku ran off. And at this time, he has no weapons. He doesn't have the compact bow yet either. That he'll get from May as a present. And as Izuku ran, he destroyed robot after robot with his extraordinary strength, the strength gifted to him by the suit. And at one time, a robot went to go hit him, and as he blocked, his suit sounded maximum armor. And it seemed as though all these hexagons clouded his visor around the edges. And as he was hit, he saw a little counter on the bottom right go down a little bit, like 1 or 2 bars. And Izuku thought, an armor mode. That's cool. And he swung his fist back, energy pulsing through it, and swung a punch at the robot, sending it a bit far back. But then he heard a squeal, and ran off. And what he found was a girl, trapped on the rubble, and that girl was Uraraka, the girl he met in the morning, when he was making his way inside. And he rushed over to her and threw the rubble off of her. And the massive zero pointer that was following behind finally caught up, and it began putting his foot down. And Izuku's suit deactivated its armor mode, and Izuku turned around, sprinting as fast as he could. And he slid out of the way, just in time. And Ida looked down at him, and as he got up, he had to look just a little bit up at him. "Hey, take care of her for me. We need to take that thing down. I'm not going to let it trap any more people." And Ida nodded. "Yes, of course," he said. Then Izuku ran towards the robot, unlike what others are doing, running away like cowards. And Izuku drew his fist back as the robot began lifting up his leg again, and slammed his fist into the robot, denting the steel. He's like, "No, I need to swing harder, faster, momentum, pick it up," and he began swaying his torso every time he punched, picking up all the strength he has, using the suit's maximum potential to be able to do this. And he began throwing punch after punch, damaging the robot's leg. "I won't let this continue any further!" And eventually the robot lost balance, beginning to fall forward, and Izuku just barely managed to get out of its range as it fell. But because it fell, some rubble went everywhere, and his suit sounded maximum armor yet again. And some rubble slammed against him, but it was nothing for the suit. Nothing to worry about, at least. But it did knock him down a little bit, which caused a little shock for him. But he was still amazed at the fact that this suit was so powerful. and that it was so efficient at saving people. It surely was a nanosuit. But when he was running towards the robot, he did have a bit of a vision, showing Uraraka. But hey, that's for next time. So have a good day. Or night, guys.